What is up, guys? This is me, Johnny Cooper64 here with another YouTube video, and Crash Bandicoot joined Super Smash Bros. Ever since PlayStation Battle Royale was announced on PlayStation 3, many people believed that Crash Bandicoot was going to appear, but never did because he wasn't a PlayStation exclusive anymore. But I mean, he can still join as a third-party character, but sadly that never happened because PlayStation probably didn't care much for Crash Bandicoot in order to pay Activision for him to be in the game. Hell, PlayStation didn't even do their best to promote the PlayStation Battle Royale game, and that's why the game failed, because not a lot of people knew that the game existed. There were also people who wanted Crash to appear in Super Smash Bros. For the Wii U. They even made an official page where you can vote which character you want to see in the game as a DLC. So people could have voted for Crash Bandicoot, but sadly I don't think lots of people voted for him, and Bayonetta won the contest and she appeared in Super Smash Bros. For the Wii U as a DLC character. Crash Bandicoot was still pretty much dead during the release dates of the PlayStation Battle Royale and Smash Bros. On the Wii U, but years later he came back with his own trilogy remaster and sold more than 4 million copies, and he's going to be getting a 5-year deal where he's going to be getting new games in the future starting in 2019. So he has a very good future currently and is gaining his way back to becoming more popular again and finally being an equal competition to other platform characters like Mario and Sonic. As the Insane Trilogy hit stores last year, the Insane Trilogy ended up being a PlayStation exclusive, so Activision made a deal with Sony and stuff, so people who didn't have the PlayStation and only had consoles like the Nintendo Switch or Xbox One or PC weren't able to play the game, or so we thought. During Nintendo Direct, they announced that Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy was going to be coming to the Nintendo Switch. Then a few hours later, it was announced for the Xbox One and PC. The games will be releasing on July 10, 2018, thus confirming that the game was indeed a PlayStation Time exclusive for 1 year, and he is now coming to other platformers. People were saddened by this, and they thought he was going to be a PlayStation exclusive and going to be the face of PlayStation again, and was only going to appear in PlayStation Battle Royale 2 if they ever made it. But this was not the case, and Crash is not an exclusive to one console, and he could appear in other consoles and different games as a guest, basically making him a third-party character. But now that he is a third-party character, this will mean that he can finally join Super Smash Bros. Now some of you may be asking, what about PlayStation Battle Royale 2? Well, I don't think that is going to be happening anytime soon because Super Smash Bros. Is coming out, and that's a pretty big game that's going to earn lots of money, so it will easily beat PlayStation Battle Royale 2 and make their game unsuccessful and ending the series for good. But they can still make it, but it won't be years from now. But Crash Bandicoot will still be able to join PlayStation Battle Royale and Smash Bros at the same time, since he's not an exclusive. He'll join in as a third-party character. But PlayStation Battle Royale 2 is not happening, but one game is, and that's Super Smash Bros. Super Smash Bros was confirmed in Nintendo Direct, the same Direct where Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy was announced for the Nintendo Switch. Everyone has been begging for Super Smash Bros to come in the Switch ever since the Switch was announced, and now it's finally happening. Now that it's confirmed, lots of people are wondering if it's a new game or if it's a Wii U port, but with every evidence put together, it is a new Super Smash Bros. That Sakurai has been working on for years, which means that Nintendo characters will be returning along with third-party characters from the Wii U Smash Bros. And new characters will be joining as well. And one of them could be Crash Bandicoot. Now, what's Crash Bandicoot's history with Nintendo? Well, it started with Crash going outside the Nintendo building and saying that Mario's worst nightmare has arrived and showing off the first original Crash Bandicoot game only being on PlayStation 1.
Hey, plumber boy, mustache man, your worst nightmare has arrived.
Pack up your stuff. I got a little surprise for you here.
Check it out. What do you think about that? We got real-time, 3D, lush organic environments. How's that make you feel, buddy?
Feel a little like your days are numbered?
I'm gonna have to ask you to leave.
You're hurting my elbow.
Is that Italian?
No, Bandicoot is an Australian name.
But decades later, and the first Crash Bandicoot is now on a Nintendo console. But Crash Bandicoot has worked with Nintendo way before the Insane Trilogy came out. The original Crash Trilogy plus Crash Team Racing and Crash Bash was a PlayStation exclusive, but Crash Bandicoot went multi-platform after that, and he was never owned by Sony to begin with. Universal Studios owned him, so they had every right for Crash, and after the PS1, Crash was now on the original Xbox and the Nintendo GameCube. First appearing in Wrath of Cortex, then the sequels came in like Crash Nitro Kart, Crash Tag Team Racing, Crash Crash to Insanity, Crash of the Titans, and Mind Over Mutant. But what besides that did Crash do for Nintendo? Well, he had exclusive Nintendo games. Yeah, that's right. He had games that were only available on Nintendo consoles, like Crash Bandicoot The Huge Adventure, Crash Bandicoot Entrance, Crash Bandicoot Purple, Spyro Orange, and other games as well. Those games could have appeared in PSP, but it didn't. It was Nintendo exclusive. And now he returned to the Nintendo console with Insane Trilogy, so Crash and Nintendo have a good relationship and they're really good friends. Nintendo also acknowledged that Crash Bandicoot was a huge icon when they announced his return on the Nintendo Switch, so they know that Crash Bandicoot is really popular and will bring lots of cash. So with what Nintendo said there, it confirms their good relationship once again. With all this, basically makes Crash Bandicoot higher in the chart for him to join the new Super Smash Bros. That is releasing this year. The reason why I think they didn't have him in the 2014 Smash Bros. Was because he was still a dead character during that time, and he was inactive with no new game or anything since 9 years. Yes, we have characters like Ness, Punch-Out, and Mr. Game and Watch in Smash Bros, but they are Nintendo exclusive characters, so that's why they're able to join. Nintendo doesn't need a specific permission or pay for a character to join. Sakurai didn't really see a reason for Crash to join 2014 Smash Bros. Because he had to have permission from Activision and probably had to pay them, so he didn't really have a reason for him to join in. But now that Crash Bandicoot has returned with the Insane Trilogy and new games on the way, Sakurai has now a reason for Crash Bandicoot to appear in the new Super Smash Bros. And sequels to come. The Smash Bros. 2014 has lots of third-party characters like Sonic the Hedgehog, Pac-Man, Mega Man, Bayonetta, Cloud, and Ryu. And Smash Brawl has Solid Snake, so having Crash in the game will not surprise me at all, and he will fit very well in the game. Now, if Crash Bandicoot does join new Super Smash Bros. Game in 2018, Crash Bandicoot will have a new design and a stage that comes along with him. I expect a similar model from the Insane Trilogy, since that's how he looked in the original games, and that's how he will be looking in the future Crash games. Well, when he put Pac-Man in the 2014 Smash Bros., Sakurai decided to go with Pac-Man's classic design instead of his modern design. There's also the multiple costume thing, where you can switch between classic Crash, Insanity Crash, and possibly fake Crash, stuff like that. They could be doing that as well. Now his fighting moves, I expect Crash to have his spinning ability since that's what makes Crash, well, Crash. And maybe some Crash of the Titans moves in there as well. His belly flop will be there as well, and his final smash could probably be the tornado spin from Skylanders Imaginators, where he spins and makes a tornado in spinning the characters away from the area. Crash Bandicoot will have his own stage like how Sonic has his own stage, and Mega Man, Pac-Man, and Ryu and Cloud. The stage is most likely going to be set in the Insanity Island. For Crash, we could have him either already in the game or as a DLC, but I think he'll already be in the game. And Crash Bandicoot will have his very own amiibo, so that'll be really good to see, and that'll be really great. And every character that joins a Smash Bros game gets an amiibo, which is confirmed by Nintendo, by the way. So if Crash does appear, he will get his own amiibo. When do you expect Crash to be announced in Smash? Well, Sakurai usually announces a character with a trailer and adds them to the Smash Bros website. So they still have a whole year to do announcements of characters that are going to be joining Super Smash Bros. But overall, I think Crash Bandicoot is going to appear in the new Super Smash Bros. As Crash and Nintendo have a good relationship back then and still are. And I think lots of people will buy Smash Bros. Because Crash Bandicoot is going to be there. So it's a good deal, plus it will be neat for him to finally fight Mario and Sonic, who had some beef going on during the console war back in the 90s. So Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy will be releasing on the Nintendo Switch in July 10, 2018, and Super Smash will be releasing in 2018. Specific date is not known, but I expect it to be released on the holidays. Thank you guys very much for watching. Would you guys like to see Crash Bandicoot join Super Smash Bros. 5? Let me know in the comment section below, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.